Okay.
Hopefully it doesn't fall.
Yeah.
Right?
Good morning. How are you? And came back. Uh-oh.
My name is originally in Polish. It's Marcin,
Okay.
but it just means Martin in English.
Martin. Okay.
All
All
right,
right.
we started. We're rolling this again. One
Sounds
more
good.
time.
All right.
That's what happens when two not normal people meet at 3 in the morning.
Exactly.
Nobody else wakes
No,
up at
this
this
is
time.
this is different.
Those are fitness freaks.
Exactly.
Good morning, Mr. Greg.
Good morning,
All right,
Martin.
so
How are
actually,
you?
How I really wanted to start it.
Okay.
So I wanted to really welcome Mr. Greg Trent, the myth, the legend of the East End of fitness. Like I think everybody knows Greg in Maximus and in Riverhead. Like when you think about like gym and fitness, everybody knows, oh, the trainer Greg. Like I think everybody recognizes you.
Exactly. I'm well known around in Riverhead because
You are.
yes,
You really are.
I've been doing it for like 17 years. So I established a lot of friendship, a lot of people knowing me, and I've a great foundation here. And that's why everybody tend to know GT Fitness Greg Trent.
Right. You even have your own smoothie in this.
Exactly. I actually created a smoothie here.
Oh, yeah. Okay, tell me about how that happened.
So I had like a lot of girls coming up to me and was like, "Oh, Greg, I need a drink. I need a protein drink." So I came up. I was like, you know what? Let me get something that's not a lot of calories, but also give them a lot of protein and a good amount of carbohydrates with a little bit of veggies in there. So I created that, and I seemed like everybody loved it. So it took off from there.
I take your smoothie a lot.
Yeah, you do, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's low calorie.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
good content, really good.
Thank you.
So I just want to share like this little personal memory. So I moved to the States 10 years ago.
Okay.
And my background is sports science. I studied it in college, in my undergrad.
Gotcha.
And I wanted to always do fitness. I did it there. And when I moved here, I wanted to do it here. And one of the first places I came to look for a job was actually Maximus.
Really?
And I remember there were like so different people back then. But you were here. Paige was here.
Oh, yes.
Greg was here. Kandu was here. All these people at the time. And I remember like you and Paige, you were so friendly to me. You probably don't even remember. I was just like young guy like rolling in and out. And
Actually, I didn't
Right.
remember.
But I don't remember you. And you always were so welcoming and so friendly. And I remember that. And I will always remember that. That was so nice.
So one thing I learned about fitness, like I used to use the gym as it was my establishment. So anyone that came through that door, I always greeted them because I wanted them to feel comfortable coming in here, a place they don't really know. And you know what? If they needed a trainer, who you think they would come and see? So I was like, that was my little repertoire that I would do. So, hello, how are you? That's it, every morning. Well, you can't hurt to speak to someone every morning, things
But
like
it
that.
definitely makes somebody feel good.
Exactly, and that's what it was all about. Like fitness it hit all different areas. You don't know what someone's going through. So for me, fitness just changed my life. So I wanted to change someone else's life. So by me being here every day, I had to always be upbeat and always be 100%, and giving people what I truly believe in, and that's called, and for me, it was about changing lives. Everybody think it's about the weights. It's really not about the weights. It's about the mindset. And that's what I try to create. When I'm training someone, I try to make them think that, you know what, I can do anything I want. So it's about getting into their mind, not the weights. It's about getting into their mind. And when you can get into their mind and change that mindset, then you know what, they're going to take off to the next level. So
I do truly believe that fitness does change lives.
Oh, big time.
And like when you say like it's about mindset and about loving it, like I think, I just realized, like I'm into this stuff for many years now, not as long as you. I hope I will be having all this enthusiasm like you do when I'm at this point. But you cannot fake it after some time. There's so many trainers that start, they do it for like 2-3 years, and they realize it's not so easy like they thought it would be. But if you really love it, like after 10 years or 7 years, you're like, I must love it,
Exactly.
Because otherwise you would quit probably.
And a lot of trainers, what I have learned is they think just because they have a nice body that they can become a good trainer. But you have to understand the anatomy of the body, but also the business aspect of the business.
Right,
and when
right.
you put those two together, then you're on your way. And and like you said, you have to love it. After the first 5 years, that was the hardest time in my life. Coming from making like $1,400 a week to like maybe $200 or $300 a week, building my business. But I used to come to the gym from 4 o'clock in the morning to start my business till like 10 or 11 o'clock at night until I established my foundation for the first probably 5 to 6 years. And then I got a good, decent foundation, and then I started doing maybe like 6 days a week instead of 7 days a week. And now I have a great foundation after 17 years that I only work from Monday to Friday now. But longer hours, but I tend to because I want to spend time with my kids and my grandkids and things like that,
But you're very disciplined. You're one of the first people who show up in the gym at 4 in the morning.
Yes.
And that takes a great discipline. So it definitely, I feel like fitness also shapes your character.
Exactly. And people don't understand that. I wasn't so disciplined when I first started training. And once I started training and being consistent with it, other parts of my lifestyle started changing with that, like being disciplined with my money, understanding sacrificing, things like that, and being patient. Because being a trainer, you have to be patient.
Right.
No, you're not going to change someone in like 1 month.
Right.
It takes time, and that's even with myself. I couldn't change over time. I couldn't change, and then all of a sudden, things started okay, this is starting to work, and the mindset started changing, the body started changing, you started looking a little bit better for yourself, and then you go on with life, so
that's true.
I really enjoy this fitness life, so I hope anybody who ever see this podcast, I wish they just try it out, give it a try, and see where it takes you, because the journey is real.
Right, that's a good point. So what advice would you give to somebody who's just, they're thinking maybe I should just start going to the gym? We're not talking about trainers, just like a random person, just like you do, when somebody show up in the door,
I would recommend them to do their homework, and I would think you should hire a trainer, because form is so important, and you don't want to start with bad form, because if you have bad form, injuries will come.
Right.
It's a serious thing. Working out is very, very serious, and a lot of trainers don't take it like that. You know what I mean? So, you have somebody in your hand that you can really hurt them if you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
So for me, you have to do your homework, understand who you're dealing with, and take that trainer and make sure that he's showing you the proper form, things like that. That's so important to me.
Right.
And when you do things and then I think the journey is going to be a beautiful thing,
Right. And especially for shy people, I think it's important. For some ladies, they're
exactly.
They're very intimidated.
Yes, they are.
They see these guys and banging the weights.
Yes.
So if you have somebody kind of walk you through this different ecosystem, they're okay, it's not bad. And actually, everybody realizes after a while, this is a very friendly environment.
Exactly. I think the gym is very, very, of course, we have a lot of muscle heads and things like that. But you have all different types of people in the gym.
Right.
And, once you understand, they're not here to hurt you or do anything to you, that's their world. And once a woman understand that, or ladies that come through the gym, then they get a little comfortable. Then they have their own little thing they do in the gym, But I advise any lady or any man who's shy, come into the gym and then just enjoy yourself. Stay, that's what it's all about, and take your journey. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Just stay in your own lane.
That's important.
Very, very
Don't
important.
compare yourself to others, because
Exactly.
it's lead to frustration, really.
Exactly. Everybody has their own journey,
Right.
So I tell you, fitness is a great thing.
So, like I told you earlier, my motto is fitness is the art of life, because I was trying to put it into some sentence, and I really think it is. It's balance, You need to learn so many things, a lot about food, nutrition,
Exactly.
rest, regeneration, exercises, of
Exactly.
course. But it's more than just exercises. It's it's art of life. It's balance.
It's balance. You're totally right about that. And one thing I have really, really learned is how important is hydration. Hydration.
Right.
A lot of people walk around and they're dehydrated. They're not thinking clearly. They're very cloudy. And hydration changes your world. And when I first started as a trainer, I never knew that. And I'm thinking like 2 bottles of water was like a great thing. I'm not telling you to drink gallons of water, but I tell you should be drinking more than 50 ounces of water a day. And not only hydrate with water, but a big thing with me, what I have learned now over the years, you can also hydrate yourself by fruits like H3O. That's what they call it. So that actually feeds your cells as well. So I'm big on hydration with fruits, and I think everyone should understand how important fruits are to take in daily.
Right.
For nutrition, things like that.
So what you would say about like people say, okay, but I drink this much coffees or I drink soda. Does it count?
So for me, if someone's drinking coffee, I would recommend you to drink, because black coffee, I wouldn't recommend you putting all that sugar and things, because sugar is the enemy to anyone. I think that's one of the worst things in America right now is like the hidden sugars and things that in food. And that's what's making a lot of people obese today, is the sugar, and I tell anyone, take the sugar away out of your diet as much as you can. Like if you get natural sugars from fruit, that's something totally different than refined sugars, you know what I mean? Because you really don't want to spike your insulin. You want to try to keep your insulin, like you said, balance of life, and the same thing, So
I sometimes break it down to people. I tell them the soda doesn't hydrate you, even though it's liquid. It doesn't hydrate you. It's just because people need like a simple advice. It's like I find it it's like you tell them something simple, they get it.
They get it exactly.
Sometimes you try to go like scientific and break it. People need a simple rule. Water hydrates you.
Exactly. Water hydrates you, but you don't want to take too much water in, because a lot of people I see walking around with gallons of water. What you're doing is flushing a lot of your minerals also out your body. So you have to have again, goes back to balance.
Right.
You have to have a balance of
thing.
Exactly. That's the hardest thing to have, but you need to go to balance. About life, and I think like you said, Martin, it's about balance, hydration, water. Don't overdo anything.
Right.
That's the thing right there for me. So.
Okay, I want to ask you a few questions.
Yes.
So what is your favorite exercise? Just quick, simple answers. The first thing comes to your mind.
First thing comes, my favorite exercise is really squats. I like legs. I complain a lot when I'm doing them, but I really appreciate them because legs is your foundation. So for me, if you have a strong foundation, you can last a little bit longer, So that's I hate them as when I'm doing them, but
like love-hate relationship.
Exactly, a love and hate relationship.
I would say the same thing about my lower body training. I don't like doing this,
right?
But it's so important.
It's so important. It's so important. And people don't understand. Tough. Yeah, it is tough. But you know what? It makes another character come out me when I'm working out. I'm like, who is this person? But I really enjoy it. Then when I'm done, I'm like, it was worth it.
Wow.
Okay,
the least favorite exercise.
My least favorite, I hate bench pressing.
Really?
When I was young, going to school, I just want to lift the world. Now it's like I don't even want to touch get underneath the weight. It's just
funny.
But because I train myself differently now. I try to shape my muscles more than just okay, I'm gonna lift the world. So I'm more with my mental.
But it's funny you said that because I developed this mindset as a trainer actually later because like you said, everybody when they're on the bench every Monday.
Yes, every Monday everybody's on the bench.
By the way, everybody says I'm different than the other guys, and then every Monday bench press.
Exactly, I see it all the time.
But I train, especially when I work with the seniors. I tell them, nobody cares if you can bench press 200 pounds when you're 90 years old.
Exactly.
But if you cannot get out of your toilet or couch, that when you really
100%, and that's so important for me to have strong legs, strong glutes, because you know what? That's going to carry me out my life later on in life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be able to still get up and use my glutes because you know what? I've set the foundation when I was younger, things like that. So, yeah.
Who is or maybe in life, who was this very significant fitness character, personality, your role model, who kind of inspire you to exercise and get into that lifestyle? It doesn't have to be somebody that but you maybe read about.
Yeah, it was really I got fascinated with like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnold.
Yeah, even though he was taking a lot of supplements and things like that, I'm not big on that kind of lifestyle. But just to shape your body the way he ended up shaping his body was phenomenal, and very detailed. Very detailed, and for me, what I have learned too, it's like shaping your body is like art.
It is.
It is. And that's one thing I learned, like, and a lot of people don't understand, like, you have to shape it and squeeze it and shape it the way you want it. And that's where I am now in life. I don't worry about how much I'm lifting. I just want to be able to shape it and detail my body, things like that.
Your body's like a sculpture.
Exactly.
Right.
And you got to take that weight to help sculpt it, things like that.
Yeah, but I love Arnold. He's like one of my heroes.
Okay.
And he's such an advocate for fitness. He came up with the whole Arnold Classic show and everything. Even now, he's like, what? He's like 70?
Yeah, like 70 something.
He's
Yeah.
still going to the gym.
Of course.
And
That's going to be me. I love the gym. It just starts my whole day. Like I said, like I get up like probably like 3:15, and I'm on my way. I brush my teeth, get myself going. My wife, she's like, where you go? Baby, I got to work out first. I like to set my day off like working out first, and then I like to train my clients because my energy is different.
Right.
So
But this is really a blessing. If somebody has this like appreciation for your day, for the things that happen to you, that's really something.
Yes.
There's so many miserable people out there
Oh.
that they wake up in the morning, it's like, I don't want to go to work.
Oh my God. And like for me, it's about a mindset, what you really want to do with yourself in life. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I wanted to like set a foundation, not only for me, but for my family and people who are around me, so that it can, like now my daughter or my son, they big into fitness, especially my daughter, she's like always working out like every day, and she has her kids watching her work out, in the garage and things like that. So
even if you don't preach it, you're a silent witness by doing what you're doing.
Exactly, and that's what it's all about. Like one thing I learned too now is not what you say, is what you do, and kids pick up, or whoever around you tend to like follow. Before when I was young and naive, I used to be always want to tell my son, you need to do this, instead of like showing them by my actions, and things like that. And know what? Little do I know, they'll just start following you.
That's some wisdom.
Things like that. So, yeah, for 17 years and, being a father at a young age, it changed my life, man. It just made me understand that I had to grow. For my kids to grow, I have to grow. And that's what I wanted to do for my kids. Is like, it's not about me anymore. It's about my kids and people who I love, and people like who love me, to make them go to, in their own journey,
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
But I think that what happens if you stick with that, it kind of grows on you.
Exactly.
In other dimensions also. Like for me, of course, it's like your livelihood also, right? So we look at this from the business standpoint, like supporting your family, like
Of
loving
course.
fitness. But it's also this whole kind of culture that we're trying to develop. Like, we want people to be healthy, just simply, right?
Exactly.
If we have healthy society, people don't realize how much money people spend on like fighting obesity, fighting things that are just your lifestyle related.
100%.
It's not something that you were born that you have to be obese. It's not.
Exactly. You can change it at any time in your life. And one thing I learned, like you said, I'm in this business. Of course I have to, take care of my family.
Sure.
But it wasn't for me, it wasn't about the money.
So when you started, it was a different priority.
Exactly. What it was for me, it was about how many lives can I change.
That's awesome.
So and you know what? I'm a big believer of the universe. What you give out, gonna come back. So for me, it was like, you know what? If I take care of people, everybody's gonna take care of me as well. And that's how God blessed me. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like, they was like, why you charge so cheap? Why this and that? Because, I knew my self-worth.
Right.
But it wasn't about that. It was more about, you know what? Making it affordable that people can actually still train and that I can make a decent living. That's what it was about for me.
So it's a mission.
Exactly. It was a mission for me to change people's lives and make them understand that you can do it. You just got to put in the work. And it's not easy. Changing lives and changing your routine of eating and things like that, it's not easy, but you can do it. So and that's what I always try to put in all my clients and people that I talk to about fitness. You can do it. It's not going to be easy.
Right.
And don't try to jump to 10. Take it one day at a time.
Yeah,
A lot of people
that's
try to
important.
you have to stay in the moment. you know
But you know what I think sometimes, when I walk into the gym, like not here or somewhere else, when and I see like packed of people, and I'm just thinking to myself, there's like this little particle of like people like you, me, and other trainers. That, we kind of like encourage all these people to show up, and then when there's packed gym, we do something right.
exactly.
There's this society that grows healthy. They're gonna be better parents. They're gonna be more productive workers.
Exact. When you eat right, and people don't realize when you start eating right and you start working out right, the chemistry of the brain changes, the mindset changes, and you're gonna start doing things that you're like, man, I never thought I would do things like this.
Even what you mentioned about this brain fog, like you're not drinking water and then you're not thinking straight.
Exactly, and people, it's the little, exactly, it's the simple things, and when you start doing the simple things first, then other things gonna happen in life. So
It's funny, like when I talk to young trainers, like guys who just started, like they're in their early 20s.
Yeah.
It's funny like how excited they are, like for a contest, for like this little like trends and
Yes.
stuff like that.
Yes.
I talk to more experienced trainers, and they go always to foundations, and I was like, there's some wisdom in it, like because of this phase, they just come and go.
Exactly, and that's what I see, and I see a lot of young trainers trying to start a business,
Right.
and I try to teach them, like, listen, anybody that come through that door, you should be speaking to, because that's the potential of a client. So if you're thinking that you're the man when you got a nice body and people are gonna just gravitate towards you, you're only kidding yourself.
Right.
So it's all about energy. Energy never stops. Through people. So for me, what I have learned, if you give people great vibes going to come back, and make them feel comfortable. It's going to come back, and that's what I try to teach these young trainers now. Because I have a couple of friends in here that's just starting, and they're like, Greg, how you do it? I'm like, consistency, and you got to be friendly, man. You have to be friendly.
That's another part, like I think you also grow in that psychology of understanding people.
That's another thing. Like where I come from, you had to understand people. Because if you didn't,
you have to be a people person.
You have to be a people person, and for me that comes naturally. I'm just good with people, and sometimes people come up to me and tell me the damnest things, and I'm like, where did that come from? But I'm like, okay, but I try to take it all in and try to figure it out with them, like maybe or give them my opinion. This is, you don't have to do this, but this is my opinion, things like that. So, but I tell you, I wouldn't change a day of my life because I have so many people in my life and I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it, and that's why people like. I'm so happy because you know what? I'm blessed for doing something that I love.
This is why I love fitness, because there's not so many professions that you can hear it, and in fitness it's pretty common actually among instructors, trainers, fitness personalities, that they say that they love it.
Yeah.
But you go to any different field, and then it's like every other person like, I don't really like my job.
Yeah,
I just do it
because of the money.
Right.
Basically, a lot of people work for just for money.
Right.
And
it's very different. I think that fitness, maybe music is like that, maybe a few other like things.
Yeah, of course. This is definitely. I mean, some people just love their job, but like you said, but with fitness though, I really appreciate it.
Right.
I appreciate it every day. Do I get bad days? Of course, I'm human. I'm not perfect, but majority, like 95% of the time, I'm happy and I'm enjoying everything because I like. I have so many different attitudes that I'm dealing with. So I really enjoy that.
And it's also like a little challenging.
It's exactly.
You know what I kind of discovered doing fitness, and I didn't know that earlier. That just kind of happened. That this really satisfies my social life. I don't know if you're gonna relate to that, but meaning that I spend time with my clients. I talk to this guy, and eventually over time you just develop friendships with your clients. So at the end of my day, somebody tells me, let's go drink or do something. It's like my social life is satisfied.
Exactly. I don't need to go in a bar to that's not my thing anymore. I don't need alcohol like I used to, like go out and have me a drink with my buddies. No, like you said, I'm satisfied in my social life because I'm talking like all the time to
Right.
someone. So basically, I'm communicating and we sharing, what you're going through and what I'm going through in life, And like you said, you become great friends. Certain clients, and you know what? They call you, they ask you advice. I get calls, emails all the time about nutrition, about, or Greg, what should I do about this situation, or personal situations,
Wow.
And for me, I love to give them my opinion, and it's up to you. And I have and for me too, I have a mentor. I have like this great guy named Teddy, man. He came into my life and changed me, like in so many ways, And we only been friends probably, I want to say 3 years, but just the conversation
Right, right.
and understanding each other,
Right. We
and
come from so different backgrounds and we don't know everything.
exactly.
Like I actually found that well, I happen I think every trainer has their own like little path how they develop, their business and all that. For me it happened that I have a lot of senior clients. I don't know why, like there are reasons actually for that, maybe I'll tell you one day. But I have a lot of senior clients and obviously some people are much older than me.
Yes, same here.
Like 40, 50 years old.
Same here.
And like even though you are a coach, you feel like a kid comparing to these people.
Exactly.
And so many times I felt like they are teaching me life.
You can say
I can teach them how to squat.
exactly.
They're teaching me life.
Exactly. I'm the same way. This guy Ted, and I have a couple more clients that's older, but like for me, I had to learn being a businessman. And God placed certain people in my life that, what, I'm a sponge. So I grab and I listen to everything they say and I try to mimic them in my own way. And I take some of their ideas and I shape it to my lifestyle as well. And again, I say Ted because he wasn't afraid of me. Like like a lot of guys, a lot of men that I speak to, sometimes, you have this personality that they get a little bit afraid of, like you're gonna do better. But it's not about me doing better. It's about me educating myself. So I educate myself through people. Sometimes I don't have a lot of time to read. I do read, but most of the time I educate myself through intelligent people, and I mimic myself like that.
Yeah. I think there's something about fitness people that, like when I was like a small kid, I always was running around. It's hard for me to sit in one place and focus. And still, until today, I have hard time reading books.
Me too.
Because, I read 2 pages and like my brain is here,
I'm
there,
all over.
the places.
Yeah.
I think already about the next thing.
Exactly.
So I think for people like us, it's really nice setting to be. That's where we're meant to be. Because
Exactly.
you would just fail somewhere else.
Oh my God! If I had a 9 to 5, I probably out of my mind, couldn't sit still, probably arguing with someone for no apparent reason. But God knew what I like to be free and like create.
Even free with movement, right? If somebody
Exactly.
puts you in one spot,
Yes.
like a cashier,
Yes.
I would get insane.
Exactly. I can't. And everybody's like, why are you training over here, over there? Because you know what? I don't like to be in one area all the time. I like to be free. I always have. My dad he's like, boy, you always over here, over there, because I like doing what I like to do or doing what I want to do.
Right.
So, and that's why I enjoy what I'm doing right now.
Right. That's why I also tell people, like, like the kids, if they have some like extra like hyper energy and
Yes.
stuff, like just explore fitness more. Like maybe that's gonna be your career.
Exactly, man. And for kids too, like, just start trying to eat healthy. Like for me, as coming up as a kid, I used to eat everything because your metabolism's so fast. But it starts there. Like if you can get a foundation as a young man or a young lady, oh my God, it's gonna change your whole lifestyle. And I recommend anyone, even parents, like change. If you could change your kids and eat differently as a family, it's so important. Like with my family, with my kids, do they cheat? Of course. But on the most part, we eat healthy meals. We sit down and eat. And no phones at the table. Communication. Like, I think it's so big. Like, I think this day of age, like with the technology, we're losing our kids by social media and all this other stuff, and we need to like get back to the family base, like having dinner, eating together, and communicating, seeing what's going on in each other's lives, because this world is crazy out there and no one respects each other anymore. And it bothers me so much that we all human beings.
Yes.
You know, with this fitness life, I got all different type of nationality of clients, and that's what I love about it. You know, and I have ones that's, you know, to be honest, I had one guy that was very, very like racist, but you know what? Him and I are the best friends. You know why? You know why though? Because I'm real with him. And he's real with me. And I respect real. If that's something you go through and you want and part of your life, that's up to you. But you know what? He started understanding where I was coming from as a man. I'm a man just like you. You know what? I want to take care of my kids just the way you get up early morning, put your clothes on. I do the same thing. You know?
Authenticity.
Exactly.
Right.
You know?
We're not perfect, we are flawed, but be authentic, you know?
Exactly. Authentic. That's it. Being real. Once you're real, people can't change that.
Right. I think the problem actually with social media is just that people don't want to be authentic, they want to be likable.
Doing what the other person's
Literally
doing.
likable, that you like the
Exactly.
the post, you like the picture.
100%, and that's what they want. Like with me, they was like, "Why you don't post? Like, why you on Instagram?" Or I don't. That's not my thing. I don't need that. You know, a lot of people.
There's a different thing to be friendly, and
Exactly.
different thing to be authentic. You know, those are like, just be yourself. People still gonna love you.
100%.
They're gonna love you for who you are.
Exactly, and you know what? You don't have to like be jack of all trades. You who you are.
Right.
You know, and that's one thing I learned. You know, like you have to stay real and be authentic to who you are, and then you don't have to like put on a show or have like 9 faces. This is me every day. You know what I mean? This is me every day, and that's what I have learned. You know, so which is good.
I think this is like a great summary of this conversation. We're gonna wrap up because the business starts here.
Yes, so I really enjoyed you, Martin, and thank you for having me.
Thank you for all your wisdom.
Thank you.
Like we talked, we learn from one another.
Exactly, and that's what it's. Thank you. I really appreciate talking to you, and I hope we go on from here and do something again.
We're gonna do it again.
Sounds good, Martin. God bless. Have a good day.